Capitalism is the main driving force of most countries, and it's the reason why so many of my videos even exist in the first place. I mean, even the PNG file of the emerald that I use in pretty much every single one of my videos is a product of capitalism. And to think that I haven't done it justice and made a video diving into it. I mean, I've truly failed the Leaf Village. So today, join me in this journey about capitalism, explained through Minecraft. I hope you enjoy. So first, what is a general definition for capitalism? Well, it's an economic system where private individuals or corporations own the means of production, such as factories and farms, for profit. Let's take this guy called Set here. Set is allowed to own factories and farms and control them to his liking. Now the thing is, under capitalism, Set will always operate the factory to maximize profits. This desire for profit that everyone has is a huge foundation to a lot of capitalism's ideas. Now let's say that recently, a new factory has been placed in the village, run by a man named Zero. They both produce bread, so they have competition with each other. This competition is very healthy for the village, as Set and Zero will both have to innovate to either make the bread taste better or to produce more with the same resources. All of these innovations lower the price of the good and increase the quality, which are both very good for the consumers of bread. Now in this scenario, notice how every single person was working for their own gain. Zero and Set both were innovating not because they want to give better bread to the people, but because better bread means more customers and more profit. The consumers also operated the same way. They don't give emeralds to Zero and Set because they want to donate to them. They give them emeralds to get good bread. And I mean, who doesn't, right? This concept is called self-interest, and it drives much of the economy in a capitalist society. The villagers work in these factories to earn emeralds in exchange for their labor. They buy goods for the satisfaction of their body or for themselves, and business owners run their company and hire people for their own profits. Everyone kind of does their own thing, and it's usually to benefit themselves. So now with all of this buying and selling going on, who sets the prices on everything? Well, this is where another big part of capitalism comes in. The market. The capitalist market basically allows the prices of goods and services to be set by the supply and demand. Let's take the bread that Set and Zero are selling as an example. This bread has both supply and demand factors. If Set and Zero pump out hundreds of bread each day to this small village, they have to decrease prices if they want to sell it off. On the flip side, if their bread is an art form that takes hours and hours to complete, but they still have the same demand of customers coming, they can then sell it at a higher price as people will compete for the same bread. Now for the demand, if a lot of villagers want the bread, Set and Zero can increase the price. If a lot of villagers decide to hate bread, now they have to decrease the price to continue selling. These two factors of supply and demand, without any government intervention and from the environment alone, decided what price Set and Zero would compete at. Now this was a very simplified explanation, and if you want to learn more about supply and demand, you should watch this older video that I made covering supply and demand in much more detail. However, the takeaway is that over time, the market forces push the price of bread toward an equilibrium, where supply and demand meet. Now this price point is actually the most efficient point in terms of allocation. So another perk of a capitalist market is that it will distribute resources and goods efficiently. Now the type of capitalist market can actually vary based on how much government intervention is being used. A free market economy, or a laissez-faire economy, means the very least amount of government interaction is happening, with the government just enforcing laws outside of the market. However, this kind of market is rare nowadays, with most countries employing a mixed economy, consisting of the government putting out social safety nets, corrections to price levels, and protections for the consumers. Protections? Why do the consumers need protection? Well, a product of having such a large focus on money and profits is the accumulation of wealth at the direct expense of others. Set and Zero, in the pursuit of profits, may lower worker wages so that they get more emeralds for themselves. Another thing they might do is consolidate, which is to combine their companies together so they don't have to compete anymore, and they can just sit back while the bread profits rake in. This hurts the consumers, who now have less quality bread at a higher price. Another downside of this can be the ignorance of externalities. Set and Zero's bread production adds to the pollution and destruction of nature in the village. Yet because they want more profits, they continue to do it and ignore the negative consequences. So you can see that all of these possibilities come from the unending pursuit of more profits. And that's pretty much all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This one was a bit harder to make for some reason, but it was still quite fun. Anyways, I gotta rest now, so best of luck with your studies, and bye bye.